this is Shweta, and in this video we'll be seeing about 4 statements. The first is break, continue, switch and go to statements. So first is break statement. So when a break statement is encountered inside a loop, the loop is immediately terminated. So it is used for terminating from the loop or exiting from the block. Break is used for every loops like for, while, do while and switch statements also. When it is used in nested loops, the innermost loop only will be terminated. So this is about break statement, and the syntax of break statement is break. So break is a keyword here, and this is the flow diagram. So here is the conditional code. First we'll be entering the conditional code and following by the condition. If the condition is true, then it will go into the conditional code, or else if it is false, then it will break and it will terminate from the block. So here is an example for break statement. At first I am defining the local variable n. So here at first I am declaring a variable n and as a user to enter a number. So then after the user enters a number, then I check a condition whether the number entered is equal to 0 or not. So if it is equal to 0, then if it is equal to 0, then it will be terminating out of the loop, and if it is not equal to 0, then we will stay in the loop and continue to execute the rest of the statements. So here break statement is entered after if condition. So if n is less than 0, then it will terminate out of the loop, and if it is not equal to 0, it will be staying, and then it will printf like enter a number, and then we'll be scanning. Or else if it is less than 0, that is or a negative number, then we'll be terminating out of the loop. So next is the continue statement. So the continue statement is just like break, but the difference between continue and break is that it is also used for while, do while loops, and continue goes again to the starting of the loop, whereas break terminates completely from the loop. So this is the difference between break and continue statements. So the syntax of continue statement is, here it is the continue, and the next is the flow diagram. Here you can see, of course it is just like break, but here if it is true, it will go into the conditional code, or if it is false, then it will continue, like it will go into the condition and it will check. So the example of continue statement is here. First I have initialized a value, like the variable a is equal to 10. So here I am using a do while loop. Inside it inside the do loop, I'm giving an if statement, that is a is equal to 50, and then I'm using an increment operator followed by continue. So the continue statement will make the loop to go to the first starting of the loop and then the while loop, followed by that switch statement. So a switch statement allows a variable to be tested for quality against a list of values. Each value is called a case, and a variable being switched on it is checked for each switch case. So switch case is generally a multi-way selection statement. Here there will be different case value, and based upon expression or the condition, a case value is executed. Each case is a block of conditions or statements. So if this test expression or condition matches with any one of the case, that particular case will be executed. So switch is also a keyword, like break and continue. And the syntax of switch statement is here: switch followed by expression. So I'm giving an expression. If it is case constant expression 1, then it will execute case 1 followed by break statement. And if it is not, if it is case 2, then it will execute case 2 followed by break statement, and then the default statement. um, Here case 1 and 2 will have break statements, and default statement will not have break statement. So here are some of the rules for switch statement. So the expression provided in switch should result in a constant value. So if it should be a constant value, otherwise it is not valid, and duplicate cases are not allowed. The default statement is optional. So if even default statement is not given, it will run without any problem. The break statement is used to terminate a statement sequence. So as said before, break statement is used to terminate whole from the whole loop. When a break statement is reached, the statement switch terminates and the flow of control jumps to the next line following the switch statement. The break statement is optional. So break is also optional. If omitted, execution will continue on to the next case. The flow of control will fall through to subsequent cases until a break is reached. Nesting of switch statements are allowed. So which means you can have switch statements inside another switch. However, nested switch statement should be avoided as it makes program more complex and less readable. And this is the flow chart for switch case. So for switch statement, I'm giving a conditional expression. So here n number of, it is used to check for n number of cases. So case 1, case 2, case 3 followed by n number of statements and followed by default statement. So it is checked for true or false conditions. If it is true, if case 1 is true, then it will execute the break statement. And if it is false, then it will go on to the next case and it will check for the next case. So this will be executed until the n number of statements is revealed. So here default statement will have it will be executed also. And here is an example. So here is an example for switch case. So I'm declaring a variable x is equal to 2, and switch expression is given. So inside the loop, I'm giving the case 3 cases. So if the expression is true for case 1, then it will be executed followed by the break statement. And the next is case 2 and 3, and here I have not used default statement. So the output will be like the choice is 2 because I have declared the variable x is equal to 2. So if it is 3, then the output will be like choice is 3. So the next is the goto statement. So when a goto statement is encountered in a C program, the control jumps directly to the label mentioned in the goto statement. So syntax for a goto statement is go to label till label statement. Here label can be any plain text except C keyword, and it can be set anywhere in the C program above or below to goto statement. So goto statement is of two types, like forward jump and backward jump. It can do both the ways. And here is the flow diagram. This is used to check for three labels, statement 1, 2, 3. And if I am giving go to after statement 1, then it will go to go to label 3, then this statement automatically will be like state after executing statement 1, it will execute statement 3 and then statement 2. And then the example. So you can see here, first I'm initializing I is equal to 1. So I'm given one test case like top. So I'm printing the value of I, and then increment operator, that is it will execute like 1 and followed by 2, like I is equal to plus 1, I gives I is equal to I plus 1, so followed by 1 the output will be like 2 and 3 and so on. So it will add 1 to the output executed before. So if I is lesser than or equal to 10, so if condition I'm giving I is less than or equal to 10, so it will be the output will be executed up to 10, and then followed by that I'm giving go to top. So it will be executing executing the top, only the top. Here I have given only one. So here I have given only one go to statement. So you can also give n number of go to statements here. So n number of labels can also be used. Thank you.